man of God, the Son of Man. But now John says, okay, I appreciate all that you guys are talking about. However, I'm not interested in human genealogy because Jesus is God incarnate. In other words, who can write about the genealogy of God? Because before God was, who is? His birth, his temptation, his transfiguration, his baptism, his youth growing up. That stuff is not important to me. The miracles that he performed in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, miracles, this is God. Those are not miracles. That is normality. I expect nothing less than for him to do the things he did. You call it mighty works, but I call it simple things. Because anybody that can speak and say let it be, and it exists, then what more or what less can you expect from this? But I want you to know who Jesus really is, because we're running around abusing the name and not knowing who he is. You see the Mormons, when they look at Jesus, they see him separate from God. They say that his body was created from a sexual union between Elohim and Mary. John said that's crazy. Wait a minute. The Jehovah Witnesses, who is Jesus? Well, they said before he lived on earth, he was Michael the archangel. And on earth, he became a man who just happened to live a perfect life. But John said that's crazy. Wait a minute, here comes Christian Science. They said that Jesus was just an idea. He wasn't even a real man. He's not even a person, but he is one that represents perfection. John would say that's crazy. Wait a minute. Here come the Hindus, and they said he was a teacher, he was guru, and that his death did not atone for man's sin. And then they had the audacity to say, and he did not rise from the dead. But John would say, that's crazy. Wait a minute. Here goes now a Christian. Well, what do you say about Jesus? They said Jesus was not important. We don't even consider him in our faith because he was just a man who was a vegetarian who happened to be enlightened, and he taught meditation. You know what John would say? That's crazy. Wait a minute. Here comes Buddha. Well, Buddha, what do you have to say about Jesus? Well, all we want to say, he was an enlightened man, and we're not even going to waste any more words on him. Well, what would John say? That's crazy. Wait a minute. Here come our brothers from Islam. Watch out. Well, brother Islam, what do you have to say? Well, I say I respect Jesus because he was one of 124,000 prophets likened unto Abraham, Moses, and Muhammad. He was born of a virgin, but he was not the Son of God. He was a Messiah, but he was also the Ayatollah. Well, John, what do you have to say? That's crazy. Wait a minute. brothers, well, what do you have to say? They said he was an extremist, but he was also the false Messiah. However, he was a good martyr, and he was a wonderful rabbi. Well, John, I heard you respond, but what do you have to say? That's crazy. So, John, what do you say? Well, John says 4 times in the Word of God, Jesus declares himself to be the only God. In St. John's chapter 3 and verse 13, he claims to be omnipresent. In St. John's chapter 5 and verse 18, the Jews sought to kill him because he claimed to be one with the Father. In St. John's chapter 5